Welcome, everyone. I'm Kimberly Boschman, and this is the Intentionally Intuitive podcast. In this episode, we're going to take a look at the numerology and the energy for the month of April 2022 for the collective, as well as the forecasts for each individual life path number. Before we get into the forecast, I want to mention that this, of course, is a general reading. If you would like a personalized reading, please book some time with me. My information is in the description box below. So April is a 10-1 month. So ultimately a 1 month. We're going to be looking a lot at the energies of the 10 because that is significant, but we will break it down with a 1 as well. So we're officially in Aries season. April is considered, of course, Aries season. It's the beginning of the astrological new year. And in numerology, this year, April is a universal cycle of 1. So this is a tremendous amount of fire energy, of initiation, getting started on something, taking a big risk, saying yes to inspired action, and allowing yourself to be bold in your choices and how you move forward. This is the month to take those big ideas from March and begin to take action. Last month was sort of the incubation period, a time for creating space, exploration, and planning. This month is all about getting the green light and taking off like never before. The vision, the spark that was ignited and came in for us last month is now ready to grow and will require our focus and dedication. So there may be several things ready to take off for you this month, and you may need to prioritize your time and your energy to determine which ones hold the most value for you in getting you to wherever it is you're trying to go. So be mindful of the kindling you're using, body, mind, and spirit, to fuel the fire of this new endeavor or endeavors. So right out of the gate in April, we have this Aries new moon occurring on April 1st. So again, we start the month off with an explosive amount of energy and fire. And this one energy will be amplified. Pay attention to the emotions that surface for you really all month because we end the month with an eclipse. So there will be a tremendous amount of energy to work with, to harness, and to channel into something powerfully positive and productive. So be very intentional with how you choose to participate and how you choose to work with all of this fire. It'll be very easy to fall into either extreme of this energy this month. So be sure to listen to my moon videos covering the numerology and energy forecast for the new and the full moons for really the most comprehensive understanding of what we are working with this month when we're talking about the illumination of those moon cycles, as well as for the eclipse at the end of the month. I highly recommend listening to that again for sort of the biggest picture of this energy that we're working with, especially for April. This is a big, big month. So the month of April holds the energy of 10-1. This is an incredibly beautiful energy for bringing people together. The 10, coupled with the energy of the 1, really signifies this idea of bringing peace or contributing towards peace through the individual presence. So to understand that, when we speak of oneness, we refer to the energy of oneness, the divinity within all, of life, all beings. So again, it's an energetic focus. Oneness does not negate your own individual identity, thoughts, experiences, beliefs, individual truths, or individual autonomy. However, it is the understanding that this energetic oneness creates the opportunity for individual action to eventually have a greater impact on the whole, the collective. We are all made up of energy, and when our individual vessel moves or manipulates that energy in some way, it eventually creates a ripple effect. Therefore, our individual choices help to establish peace and fellowship through, again, our individual presence. and our individual choices. They contribute towards seeing the same energy and presence play out within the greater collective. So the point being, be very aware of, especially this month in April, of how you choose to contribute. The influence of this 10 energy also brings with it the potentiality for luck, success, honor, and material rewards. You could have opportunities to share your wisdom from past experiences in a way that can carry wide and pronounced benefits. This is a time to put yourself out there in ways that may feel very, very uncomfortable, but that also feel aligned. So be bold. Share your wisdom in ways that feel good for you, even if it's outside of your comfort zone, especially if it's outside of your comfort zone. That which you initiate under this energy throughout April is bound to be successful. This 10 energy brings with it a sort of a turning of the tide. That which you have been working towards can now come in. You may see a series of events bring great success and the potential for material accomplishment. This is the start of a new cycle, and you get to decide what direction you'll move this energy towards. Remember that the innovative ideas and the fresh beginnings, including events that appear to be merely coincidental, are all results from efforts you have already expended. You have always been the magician of your own story. So April is an incredibly powerful month, kicked off by a dynamic new moon and closed out with a monumental eclipse. Everything in between has the potential to pack just as much punch. So take inspired action this month, stand up and stand out, even if you have to stand alone initially, and be bold about going after what you truly desire, and this energy will work with you in ways you can't even begin to imagine. Remember that you hold the power when it comes to creating the life of your dreams. It may be very uncomfortable at times, but don't give that power away. Recognize where you hold the power, as well as recognizing and acknowledging where your natural limitations are so that you can also ask for help where you need it. And then accept that assistance graciously, without shame. There is power in recognizing when we need to ask for help and in doing so. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look at the forecast for the individual life path numbers for April 2022. Fellow life path number 4s. Okay, so I pulled an animal spirit card for us, and for April we got cat spirit. And cat's message to us is claim your independence. So if there's something or someone who has been sort of, or where you've felt like there's a codependency, I feel like this month there's going to be opportunities for you to find ways to reclaim your independence from that situation. And of course, that will take effort and decision making on your part to be able to do that. And it may also feel a little scary because there can be a lot of unknowns with that. But I think that's why cat spirit is coming in to remind you that, if you ever watch cats in the wild or domesticated cats, one of the things about them is that they're just curious, right? They'll just investigate. They're somewhat cautious, and they can be a little bit, get frightened easily. But it's like that initial, when they're curious about something, it's kind of like nothing stands in their way to investigate. What transpires after that, depends on the circumstances, but that initial kind of like following their instinct to just, and following that curiosity to check it out. And so I feel like there's something coming in around, sort of going after that independence and not letting anything kind of deter you, like fear, right? Or not knowing how things are going to turn out, or, fear of the unknown, whatever comes up, right? There's just something here about really embodying cat's energy of not being afraid to investigate further and to sort of satiate that curiosity, And also, you think about cats, except for like lions, they usually, move in prides. But like with cougars, with domestic cats, for the most part, they're more independent, solitary creatures. They will, come to you when they need attention, or they will find a playmate when they want company. But I think there's something definitely this month about, just reclaiming your independence around something where you have felt powerless, or where you have maybe given your power away, and also where you have fallen into codependency. And of course, that can be with a variety of things. So I think we're going to be asked to look at that this month and make some decisions around how we can move into a more independent space. Okay, so this is interesting because when I look at the month ahead, the energy for the beginning of the month, there's something here about self-sabotaging. So there's something here around, and again, that can fall back to like giving your power away, or codependency, or feeling like you can't accomplish something without somebody else doing it for you, or somebody else giving you permission, or somebody else being able to do it, but you can't do it, right? And sometimes in life that does happen, right? Where it's like we hit that personal limitation, that physical limitation, because again, we are human and we do have to ask for help. But through that asking for help and receiving that help, we should be finding ways so that in the future we can do it ourselves. You see what I'm saying? So you're like finding your independence through the codependency in a way. And codependency is a little bit of a strong word, but so there's something here around self-sabotage. So almost like, well, I could probably do this on my own, but I'm going to, I don't know, have somebody else do it for me and I'll do it next time or something. I don't know. I can't really think of an example, but there's something here around not stepping into our own autonomy when it comes to, or, recognizing our own power and what we bring to the table and the value in whatever that is, and sort of giving that away to other people, like seeing other people as more powerful or more capable or whatever the case may be. There's something here around whether it's through an action or whether it's through like a thought, like a self-sabotaging thought perhaps that's coming in, but there's something here on self-sabotaging. So there's not really a barrier, but we're creating a barrier, whether it's through our actions or through our thought processes. And so we're really being asked at the beginning of the month to take a closer look at that and to reclaim our power over that situation. Because we are capable of doing that. We just have to find the way. And that, that's where we extract the wisdom. That's where we've recognize how we are actually capable of doing whatever it is. So again, it will take effort and it will take trust and surrender in some ways as well. Surrender to the unseen and to trust our inner knowing and following the compass that is our soul, right? So definitely something coming in at the beginning of the month to just be aware of where it is that you are maybe creating barriers that don't really need to be there, or where you're making things harder than they kind of need to be, and seeing where you can maybe mitigate that a little bit. Okay, and then mid-month we have this energy of something coming in that's very a defining moment almost. It's like clarity coming in, communication coming in that's going to be very difficult to ignore. And through that clarity or that communication, that sort of defining moment, it is going to require us to make some kind of a decision. So it feels like sort of this, it's almost like you kind of knew this was eventually going to come, but maybe you didn't know how or when, and now it's like it's here. And so with this clarity, which is going to be very hard to ignore, I feel like it's going to be very much in our face if it's relevant for us, right? Whatever this is creating a situation where we have to make a decision. It's kind of like we're at an impasse, and now we need to make a decision whether we're going to move right or we're going to move left. And that decision, no pressure, will sort of define the next leg of the journey. So there is some weight to this, but I feel like the clarity or the communication or the insight that comes in mid-month will sort of help us to do that, to be able to make that decision. There is no wrong answer. So whichever way you decide to go is the right way to go. It's just going to create different scenarios for you to move through. And so that is, sometimes we get caught up on the decision, but the reality is there's no wrong decision. It's just which one feels right in the moment. And that's what we go by. And so that's all we can go by because life is constantly changing. Life is chaos, right? And so we're just trying to find our balance within that chaos. So I do feel like whatever comes in for us mid-month is going to create this dynamic that's going to kind of force us to make a decision. And that decision will be sort of pivotal in how we move forward on whatever this is. But I think it's going to feel very clear as far as which direction to move into that feels right within that moment. So try not to overthink it. I would say don't overthink it. Definitely follow your intuition and how you feel at this time. Don't try to make a decision off of how things might be in the future because, again, you have no idea. You can't define that necessarily. And so you can look at how you want it to be and hope it turns out that way. But the best thing to do is to come back to the present moment, see how you feel in this moment about how you want to move forward and make your decision from that space. End of the month, this is interesting because there's some kind of communication coming in or inspiration or motivation coming in from the past. And this is big. This is divinely guided. This is something coming in like almost like a gift from the universe. It's something maybe you've been waiting on. This has the potential to answer, your prayers, to be sort of like that, wish upon a star and your wish will come true. And this is the wish coming true. It's interesting because it's almost like if you've been waiting to hear something about something, it's like I feel like that could be coming in and it can feel almost like a wish granted. It's very beautiful energy. And so it also has the potential to be very stabilizing and secure, and financially rewarding. So there's a lot coming in around clarity, inspiration, and motivation this month, which totally makes sense because of the whole Aries energy and this like new beginning energy and this one energy that we have going on in April. And so for fours, end of the month, there's something coming in from a past inspiration or past idea where things are kind of starting to come together and starting to gel to where it feels like you're getting granted a wish or a gift from the universe. But the truth is, you've already put forth the effort, and now the timing is right? Like the divine timing is right for these things to kind of gel, to come together, for the people to start presenting themselves in order to make this happen. And so you could see things starting to really move by the end of the month. I feel like the beginning of the month is more about just being aware of like where you're holding yourself back, where you're tripping yourself up, and to mitigate that as much as possible. Mid-month is going to be about potentially making some very definitive choices and about the path forward. They may not be easy decisions, but I feel like there's something coming in around that. But I feel like you're going to have everything that you need to be able to make a well-informed decision. And when I say well-informed, of course, I'm talking about like your intuition and like that inner knowing. You may not have all of the outside answers, but you don't need them. So and then end of the month, I see things really kind of coming together and kind of feeling like through efforts that you've put forth, which again, with 4 energy, sort of what defines our life path energy is the understanding that things don't necessarily come easy for us. We have to put forth the effort, but the reward is in direct proportion to the effort put forth. That's pretty much always the case with 4 energy. So if you put in the effort and you dedicate yourself and you don't easily give up on whatever it is that your vision is, you will see the rewards of that, even if it's delayed. And typically with 4 energy, it's going to be delayed. It's sort of like Saturnian energy. But anyway, definitely seeing some rewards coming in, but it feels like very big. It feels very cosmically driven. It's almost like you've been putting in the effort, the work, on the physical plane, and now the universe is stepping in and doing its part. I mean, it's always been doing its part, but you know what I'm saying? It's like now you're actually starting to see some of those tangibles come in that you thought were never going to show up. So this is really powerful energy. And I think also at the end of the month, it's just embracing cat spirit to understand that you created this. You, with your determination and your ambition and your effort, you created whatever this reward is, this wish being granted. It may feel like something bigger than you granting you something that, you thought might have been unachievable, but it's you that created this energy. And so that's really powerful. And I think you need to give yourself credit for that, for whatever this is. So very powerful energy this month for us, for fours. So I hope it's a beautiful month for you all. Thank you so much for listening. Take care, everyone. Bye for now.